Prediction Markets Edge right here on the early line, a half hour. Invest your money wisely. Big time topics to talk about in the NBA, the WNBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, and much more. And we're ready to have some fun. It's Donnie Rightside. It's Joe Raineri. And away we go, Joe, into the markets. Oh, he's excited. He is. The market got his tongue here right now. Now he's
why does that always happen every time it comes out?
Get in here.
I am getting in because I'm sorry. I was actually placing another bet with LeBron James not retiring in the prediction market here. So we are locked and loaded here, ready to go today.
Hot topics, they never stop. Even if Joe doesn't want to talk about them, we'll talk about them together. And how about this? I get a kick out of this one, Joe. Ready for this? Just in from a Marcus Leshock tweet. DraftKings is shutting down its sportsbook operation at Wrigley after just 2 years. The company says increased Illinois wagering taxes are to blame for the closure in a statement published to the Chicago Tribune. Now, we don't have to read all of that here, but understand this. Why would you go to the game at Wrigley Field and wait in line to press a wager, Joe? But watch me. Ready? Whoa, there looks like a line right there to press a wager. Oh, look, Joe. No line on my phone. Cubs to win, money line, let me in. Wow. Wonder why that place closed.
Yeah, shocker, right? I mean, you don't need brick. So you're saying brick and mortar makes no sense anymore these days, Donnie, with technology? Is that what you're telling me? Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, sometimes common sense is very easy to figure these things out, Donnie.
Yeah. Hey, I got a great food truck right here. Let me sell you on a brick and mortar across the street. Hey, I don't pay any rent on my food truck here. Oh, you pay $5,500 a month now when you're brick and mortar. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Exactly. What are we doing here? Some people take this, sports gambling just isn't sustainable. No, sounds like a stupid thing to actually have where I can place a bet on my phone in my seat. Hey, hon. Gonna miss an actual inning here. I'm gonna go walk down there and place a wager. Oh no, by the time I got there, the money line wager was way off. Place it in your seat on your phone. Enough of it here. Let's get to some of the games tonight, Joe, which includes Madison Square Garden. Get your phones out, people. Place your wagers or investments there. Why? Go to the Kalshi Marketplace and check it out. The Knicks are the heavy favorite tonight. No surprise. 70% chance for them to win this basketball game. The yes ticket also, Joe, listed at 70%. $100 investment on the Knicks at home tonight just to win pays back $143. You want to get them at 7.5 tonight? Take a look at this, Joe. $100 investment pays back $205. That's plus money if you cover that number of 7.5.
Yeah, and now listen, now is the time, if you haven't done so, that if you like the Knicks here tonight, then you need to start looking into the other markets associated with them. The series market, Donnie, the NBA Finals market here. You need to start loading up now on the Knicks because if you like them to win tonight like I do, yeah, they are likely the price is going to get worse before it gets better as these games go on in this series, Donnie. So I don't overthink game one. Just go ahead and back the Knicks, and I would even back the under with the Cleveland Cavaliers team total here tonight.
Yes. Just went there on the Kalshi Marketplace, Joe, reading my mind, because if you figure you come off of a game 7, you're a little bit exhausted, and maybe the Knicks run away with this game. You're not playing your starters in the fourth quarter here. Team total listed at Kalshi, Joe, 106.5. A no contract on that. $100 investment will pay back $186 if you feel not a lot of scoring there from the Cleveland side. Let's flip it over to Major League Baseball today. A battle of teams looking to stay in first place or overtake first place in the Central Division. The Brewers and the Cubs. The Big Miz will be on the mound today for Milwaukee. They're at the Cubs, but take a look at the trading right now, Joe. 51% Milwaukee, 49% here for Chicago. Even up with the Miz on the mound versus Brown.
Never want to catch a falling knife, Donnie, they say. And unfortunately, right now, the Cubs are going through it, man. It's been a rough stretch for them. It's not getting any easier as they've got to sit here and take on a red-hot Brewers team, 9-2 in their last 11. And with Miz on the mound, Donnie, are we expecting something different? I think the Brewers right now, I don't feel like I want to step in front of that train, much like we've talked about with Tampa. Nope. I got to see them lose a couple of games in a row before I jump off them.
Yeah, we'll see what finds out here. But the Miz on the mound, 2 power pitchers there. We'll see how it goes in Chicago today. How about the WNBA? The Tempo taking on the Mercury in Phoenix. Tip time, 10 o'clock tonight. Phoenix as the heavy favorite, Joe. 73% chance to win this game. The yes contract is at 74 cents, which means a $100 investment pays $136. First year of the Tempo. They're heading out west for this one.
Yeah, and listen, we've done very well over the list since the start of the WNBA, Donnie. The market that has the most volatility is the totals market here, and they keep getting priced up, to the point where all the value is on the under. The Tempo have been an under team, and I think that's going to hold true again here tonight. We're up to 171.5 points. I like the under here tonight, Donnie.
Player props are also available on the prediction markets here. You get into some of the points. DeJuan Bonner to score 10 points or more tonight to the yes contract, Joe. That's 64 cents, which means a $100 investment pays back $157. Back to baseball we go. Blue Jays and the Yankees. High-scoring game yesterday, 7-6, which saw the Yankees pick up the victory here. The Jays struggling on the season. The Yankees looking to chase down those Tampa Bay Rays. The Yankees are listed as the favorite in this with a 55% chance to win, and a yes contract on a $100 wager would pay back $176. Should those Yankees get the victory over the Jays tonight, Joe?
Well, I kind of like the under in this spot here, Donnie. I think that, yes, we got a lot of runs, but don't forget, it wasn't against Corbin. A lot of those runs in that 7th inning came off of the bullpen. The Yankees bullpen is going through it right now. Nice win last night. I think Cease and Warren, very underrated. I like both of these guys to keep this a very low-scoring game tonight in the Bronx.
There is an events tab here, Joe, in the Kalshi Marketplace. What will the announcers say during the game? And I got to tell you, look at some of this stuff. Yankee Stadium is at 98%. Of course, they're probably going to say Yankee Stadium tonight. Or how about, Joe, simply double play? But again, you're not getting that great of odds back. A $100 investment, should they say double play tonight? 105. That could mean anything. They actually get a double play or they call it out, or they are playing, Joe, at double play depth. How about that marketplace?
I like the mention markets are always fun, Donnie, and easy. You don't have to wait very long to be able to cash those tickets out.
Did you want an under last night in Major League Baseball? Well, you better been looking out on the West Coast here. 2 teams battling for first place. It's the Dodgers and the Padres. We wake up this morning, Joe, and find ourselves living in a Padres world as they are in first place after knocking off the Dodgers last night. Can they make it 2 in a row? The odds makers basically telling you right now, no. The Los Angeles Dodgers currently a 58% chance to win this game tonight. The yes contract on the Dodgers listed at 59 cents, which means a $100 investment would pay back $170. But hey, Padres could make some hay here. They're hot right now.
Yeah, and look at that total, Donnie, for Petco of all things, right? 8.5 we're starting to see here. I mean, listen, Emmett Sheehan was due for a little regression, and he got it. But he's got great swing and miss potential. He strikes out a ton of guys. He's got those escape pitchers. But you know who else does? Griffin Gannon here. He, too, great strikeout rate. I got no problem looking at an under. I think 8.5 is a bit much here.
You know what? Also, you take a look, Joe. You can bet some of those markets here that we love or invest in those markets. Home run props to the yes and no. Ohtani hasn't been all that hot in the home run department lately, Joe. If you say, you know what? Ohtani's not hitting a home run tonight, that's actually trading at 82 cents to the no. A $100 investment pays back 122. As well as like to remind the people, Joe, you can bet the no's in this marketplace.
Yeah, and be very profitable in doing so, Donnie. It's kind of like hanging out on the don't pass line at the craps table. You're not everyone's favorite player, but you know what? Doesn't matter. The chips are coming your way here. I think that's a great market to look at the nose in.
7 out, line away. Usually not music to too many people's ears unless that guy that's betting on the don't come line, and certainly everybody's enemy in the casino. By the way, the Dodgers on the Kalshi Marketplace, Joe, 29.4% chance to win the World Series this year. The yes contract also the same at around 29 cents as well. Something to keep an eye on as the Dodgers aren't running away with things right now. We'll be back after this short break with much more.
At the end of the day, LeBron's going to have to put that team on his back. Can he do it? I don't know if he could do it for a 7-game series. Can he give you like two, like, oh my goodness, LeBron at 31? Yeah, I think he can give you a couple of those games. But it's about the other guys that have to step up.
Pro basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Let me understand this, Joe. Are we going to have any broadcast games on TV anymore? It's all streaming?
You got to pay to watch here, folks. That's just the way it's going to be, one way or the other. And I'm sure this will satisfy, the FCC looking into the coercion that's going on here with the NBA NFL broadcast rights? Yeah, this is all par for the course, I think.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
There's all these idiots out there sounding off on Tiger right now. See, it's so easy to go after a guy that's hurt. He's hurt. Whether you call it whatever you want. He's got a little bit of an issue that he's going to fix. Okay? They're attacking. Attack. Why don't you all shut up and let him go do his thing? He had to leave the country to do it because of privacy? That's nauseating to me.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Now, I see him 15th, 16th, somewhere in that ballpark, and I think that makes sense, Donnie. I don't see him in the top 10. I really don't. I mean, when you look at, let's say, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you start going into that, teams like the Cowboys or the Vikings or the Chiefs, and, could they take a flyer?
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Prediction Markets Edge on the Early Line for a Tuesday here. Topics always roll in, Joe. Here's what's interesting, too, about the betting markets and the investments that you can make, whether it's prediction markets or sports books here. You know what we never see, Joe? Wall Street putting out, public information, let's call it here. Hey, make sure you invest and don't overinvest, and make sure you have enough money where if you invest, you can still pay your rent. Why don't we ever get that at this point? Because apparently in the sports book markets, we do that. And now in the prediction markets as well. Kalshi has invested $2 million in the National Council on Problem Gambling to, quote, support a strategic, innovative focus on trader health and safety. How come we never see this on Wall Street, Joe? Invest with your head.
Yeah, shocker. But we do see the, cover your own, Donnie. So the more types of investments you have in organizations and groups like this and put that good, that good front on, the better off it is for you and the more likely you are to keep certain groups away from trying to sue you and put you out of business.
When are the calls going to get involved here in the prediction markets, Joe? That's what we're waiting for next at this point. How about this story from the New York Times, which sometimes we just or jump to conclusions too quickly. The New York Times standards editor, Susan Wessling, sent out a memo today saying that staff members cannot bet on prediction markets on subjects they cover or are likely to cover or abuse non-public info about the Times to make money here. That doesn't seem fair, Joe. I'm a reporter. I'm doing my due diligence. Anybody in public can go be their own quote-unquote reporter here and get some info. Come on. Let them go.
Yeah, but it doesn't say anything about your cousin making a bet though, on information you might have, does it? Oh, loophole. Or your neighbor, or your uncle twice removed. Yeah, no, there is a lot of ways around it, but you personally just don't go ahead and bet on anything that you have knowledge about. We wouldn't want that.
Just do like, the House reps do and the senators do. I didn't bet on that. Well, your wife made a ton of money on that. Psst, that's not me. I don't know how she knew that we were buying chips from IBM next week, and that's just a great guess by the wife. Yeah. Exactly what happens at this point. Let's head over to some markets, Joe, which are going to take place a few months in advance. How about September 10th? You go, what's September 10th here? Oh, they're playing in Australia. The San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams, Joe. Take a look at this on the Kalshi Marketplace. Just to win the game, the 49ers, 43% chance. The favorite, Los Angeles Rams, I believe technically the home team in this game, their contract is 60 cents. Are the Rams going to be 1-0 after that wild Australian game, week number 1?
Yeah, I mean, it is a wild game here, right? And unfortunately, I think this would have been a Rams home game, Donnie, but they don't really have home field advantage anyway. They might actually have more of it in Australia. But, these week one games, like we've been talking about, Donnie, they're very much correlated to win total markets, if you like, because the repricing is going to happen, Donnie. And again, this is what this is all about. We're buying the repricing, not about being right. It's about getting it to reprice, buy low and sell high here. I think the Rams win this game. I think the Rams are going to be the better team. I love the offseason addressing the secondary, which was their biggest issue. I like the Rams, but that doesn't mean that's where the value is. The value might be in the 49ers because this price might get out of hand, Donnie, before they kick it off in Australia.
Exactly. No home field advantage. Nobody's played in Australia. You can't backdate your data at this point. Understand this one thing about the NFL. Most teams don't play anybody until they get to game number one. A lot can happen and change. And also, two division rivals. Whoever gets the win in this one, that's going to be a big leg up on the season. And if we go to the San Francisco 49ers win totals, here's some times where the marketplace gets a little wacky at this point. The San Francisco total wins forecast currently right now, Joe, sits at 15.1. What are we 15-2, Joe? Stop the madness at this point right now. Find and get in where you can. But I don't know what algorithm came up with a 15-win season. Look at it. Look at that thing. 15 wins, craters back to 15 wins. What? What's going on here, Joe?
That is absurd, Donnie. We're talking about the 49ers total wins here. Not going to happen. Listen, the reality is I think it should be hovering around 10.5. And that's probably just about even money somewhere along those lines. But look, the travel schedule here, Donnie, look at that schedule. It is brutal. Yeah. I mean, it starts off with Australia there with the Rams, and it doesn't get any easier here. And how many more times do we have to see the injuries plague this team before we're like, you know what? Let me wait and see what's going on. I'm more inclined to fade the win total right now than I am to back the over because I got to see it to believe it with this team.
How about that Rams total here of wins on the season, Joe? 58% here to get 10 or more wins here. 46% chance to get 11 or more wins. You see the graphic in this one, up and down between 11 wins and 10 wins here, as high as 12 wins. High expectations for the Rams. Veteran team, Super Bowl ready. Big opening game, Joe. I think you could pencil them in. Again, barring disastrous injuries, 10-plus wins, no doubt about it.
I mean, anything over 11 wins, Donnie, you're asking this team to be pretty much elite wire to wire. Again, a big travel schedule. And they got to end the season, I think, with against all the Seattles and the 49ers of the world. So it's tough. I think the better market here, Donnie, instead of the win total market, which I lean towards the under, would be the division winner market here, because I do think the Rams are going to win the division. So I think maybe that's a better priced market for the future than their win total right now.
Yeah, fun matchups here in week number one. It continues Sunday, September 13th, 4:25 kickoff here. Big battle. The NFC, the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings here. New quarterback there for the Vikings, probably going to be Kyler Murray going up against those Packers. But the favorite here, the Green Bay Packers, currently trading, Joe, at a chance of 54%. A yes contract also at 54%. Minnesota, the dog team, 46%. And a yes contract of 49%. Good little matchup in the north there, Green Bay, Minnesota.
Always a good heck of a way to get it going, too, right? But, listen, if he is truly the quarterback whisperer there in Minnesota, we're going to see it here with Kyler Murray. But we've seen Green Bay start slow. Is Parsons playing? Is he going to be ready? Is he not? Is that defense ready to go? If not, I tend to lean the Vikings in this spot.
Yeah, by the way, Minnesota's total wins trending up high, Joe, around 8.7, 8.8. Now we see it today around 9.4, 9.5%. So things looking up. Amazing when you get a quarterback that could be competent as opposed to what you had last year with McCarthy. Things can change for the organization. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Prediction Markets Edge right here on the Early Line. Right back out on Prediction Markets Edge on the early line. Another Wall Street Journal article here. Tweet out yesterday. Polymarket system for resolving disputes is drawing scrutiny, Joe, from traders. In nearly 20% of disputes reviewed by the Journal, accounts deciding the outcome were tied to bets in the same market. And are we throwing a little AI, Joe? Never good when you see the disputes out there going, wait a second, what happened here?
Yeah, well, I mean, they're basically trying to let everyone think as if there is really no insider trading here, Donnie, that people who have knowledge of things in these markets and act on them, we're going to catch them. We've got AI. Stop. It's the same thing. You have the SEC too, right? And has that been working? They stop all of that insider trading on well, no, it's not. It's part of the game. As long as you know the game, Donnie, then you're okay. You won't get caught. But if you don't know the game, that's where the problem arises.
By the way, also, I do kind of feel like at nearly 20% of the disputes, it says reviewed by the Journal, the accounts, again, deciding the outcome were tied to the bets in the same markets. Like, hey, Joe, you won last night on that double overtime over. And they go, we don't think that's fair. And you go, yeah, it is fair. Well, why is it fair? Because I won. I'm not giving you my money back at this point. So who knows?
Correct.
20% of them, of course, they're not giving their money back or overturning a win that they might have had here. Now, Joe, it's time to fade the market. What do the people want to see on PME, Joe? They want to see the NBA Finals appear on this edition of PME, and they're going to get that right now, Joe. What do you think? It's all NBA.
I love it.
Joe.
I love it. Listen, Donnie, this was a market I actually talked a lot about here over the last 48 hours. And you're going to see when we talk about repricing in markets, Donnie, this was a perfect example of it. Yep.
Perfect example is right, because now you have one game that's already been played in the Western Conference Finals here, an upset by San Antonio. So now you say, do you buy the dip in the market, which people ask so many times? Because today, 51% chance. You know how that is? It's San Antonio now. 50% chance. It's Oklahoma City. They're down, home court advantage back in the favor of San Antonio. And now, Joe, if you feel you want to jump in on a discounted prices for OKC, $100 investment pays back $200 if OKC wins the series.
Yeah, well, listen, the series price, Donnie, 24 hours ago was, I believe, Oklahoma City nearing, well over 65, 66 cents there at one point yesterday. And I had mentioned and said, listen, if you like San Antonio, which I did, this was a market to jump in. The championship market was a way to jump in. The NBA, the MVP market was a way to if you have believed like we did, Donnie, that the Western Conference, the champions coming out of that conference, these were the markets that you needed to get repriced. And look at it now, Donnie. Now we're at a 50-50 mark in this series when you could have got San Antonio around 30 cents, 33 cents just 24 hours ago.
Go New York, go New York, go will be the chance tonight as the City Dancers take center stage in Madison Square Garden. It's the Knicks and the Cavaliers, but they haven't played a game yet in their series, Joe. Game number 1 tonight, Eastern Conference Finals. Series winner on the Kalshi Marketplace right now. Heavy favorite on those New York Knicks at a 71% chance, which means if they win tonight, that will increase. If they lose tonight, Cleveland's going to get a surge. It's finding out the marketplace where you want to get in before this game, Joe, of what you think is going to happen. New York, though, is the favorite to win the series by a wide margin.
It's not even close, Donnie. 70-30 really is what we're looking at right now. And I had mentioned it's time to jump in on the Knicks if you're going to do it here. Unless, of course, Donnie, you think Cleveland can pull off a miracle. Well, then there's some value at backing them right now at the 28 to 30 cents. Because the Knicks, even if they win tonight, Donnie, this market is not going to jump up from 70 to 80 or 85 just because they won game 1. They won't reprice the Knicks. They will reprice Cleveland.
And repricing is going on right now with what happened last night in the victory for the San Antonio Spurs Pro Basketball Finals matchup, Joe. The favorite now after last night, the San Antonio Spurs taking on the New York Knicks, currently at 38% here. Oklahoma City versus New York, now down to 34%, down almost 17% from yesterday here, just based on that victory alone. Now, granted, depending on what happens tonight, some of those things might increase and decrease. We know the difference. But San Antonio now, the favorite here in the marketplace to play the New York Knicks.
Yeah, and listen, that was, if you got in on it yesterday, good to go. But again, might be time to look at OKC in that market as well.
Also, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to be the MVP, which means best player on the team that wins the championship. The favorite was OKC. He's down 20% from yesterday with a chance now of 40% as opposed to 60%. These markets will move once again today, and we'll keep you up to date. Prediction Markets Edge on the early line for Tuesday. We're done today. See you tomorrow. Enjoy your weekend.